The Bloodline ruined Roman Reigns to be pinned for the first time in 1,253 days at WWE Night of Champions. Championships rumored to change hands at WWE Night of Champions. WWE preparing late night for the World Heavyweight Champion. 29-year-old star considered a slam dunk by Triple H. WWE secretly accomplishes a major goal with Roman Reigns. Paul Heyman owes $150,000. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens should have lost their tag team titles. Let's jump right into it. Roman Reigns to be pinned for the first time in 1,253 days at WWE Night of Champions. Fans are buzzing over Roman Reigns' undisputed WWE Universal Championship reign edging closer and closer to the incredible 1,000-day mark. While the feat is impressive and unlikely to be duplicated in the decades to come, Roman has other impressive stats to his name. One of the Tribal Chief's most impressive feats is that he hasn't been pinned in a long time. In fact, he hasn't been pinned in over 3.5 years. Roman Reigns last had his shoulders pinned down all the way back in 2019 by Baron Corbin at the TLC Premium Live event. Not being defeated by pinfall since December 15, 2019 is incredibly impressive. However, it does mean fans are eagerly awaiting the point where Reigns is finally pinned on WWE programming. Could those fans get their wish at Night of Champions? The head of the table will team up with Solo Sikoa to fight Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn for the Raw and SmackDown tag team titles in Saudi Arabia. Could Roman finally be pinned at the big show? This piece will look at the reasons why that should happen. Here are 4 reasons why Roman Reigns should be pinned for the first time in 1,253 days at WWE Night of Champions. Number 4. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens should finally get a win over the Tribal Chief. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are 2 of the most talented superstars in WWE. They're also 2 of the most popular stars in the business. Despite their recent success, the 2 have major losses against Roman Reigns. Just this year, both men have lost in major championship bouts against the Tribal Chief. Kevin Owens failed to defeat Roman at the 2023 Royal Rumble, and Sami Zayn failed in his pursuit of the undisputed WWE Universal Championship at Elimination Chamber in Montreal. While the plan was obviously never for the 2 to win the big belt, they could make up for their big losses at Night of Champions. Just as Roman retained his gold against them, they should retain their belts by pinning the Tribal Chief and finally putting the rivalry behind them once and for all. Number 3. Roman Reigns has been undefeated for long enough. As noted, Roman Reigns hasn't been pinned in a ridiculously long time. 1,253 days is about 3.5 years. Just like his reign as the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, hitting 1,000 days soon is virtually unheard of. So is this streak of sorts. Still, at a certain point, enough is enough. Roman has been an incredible champion and is the top draw in the company, but keeping him from being pinned for too long could negatively affect the rest of the roster. If WWE has Reigns eat a pin at Night of Champions, it will boost Sami and Kevin, but it will also help freshen things up for the head of the table. Roman may not be stale yet, but why risk it? Number 2. A big loss helps put his undisputed WWE Universal Championship reign in jeopardy. Roman Reigns' time as champion has been special. Only 4 men in WWE's illustrious history has held a world title for longer than the Tribal Chief. These 4 men are Pedro Morales, Hulk Hogan, Bob Backlund, and Bruno Sammartino. By the end of June, Roman could overtake Pedro Morales and thus only be behind the other 3 iconic stars. While that's an incredible feat, just as with being pinned, it runs the risk of growing monotonous. Worse yet, if fans stop believing he can lose the belt, they may lose interest in the product. The Tribal Chief losing at Night of Champions could tell fans that Roman Reigns can be beat. This will instantly make any upcoming undisputed WWE Universal Championship matches mean more by default, which only helps the company moving forward. Number 1. His loss will advance the Bloodline storyline. Roman Reigns losing has numerous positives as outlined in this video. It will boost other stars, it will freshen things up, and it will enhance other championship bouts moving forward. Beyond anything else, however, it will aid the Bloodline story. The Bloodline is Roman's faction, which is made up of Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, Solo Sikoa, Paul Heyman, and Roman himself. The Bloodline story has been ongoing for close to 3 years now, but there's major cracks forming, which has hooked audiences. Roman losing at WWE Night of Champions is the next major step in the story. Whether he loses because of Solo, Usos, or in some other fashion, his loss will add a lot of intrigue to the story moving forward, thus giving fans even more reason to tune in. Championships rumored to change hands at WWE Night of Champions. WWE Night of Champions is scheduled to take place at the Jeddah Superdome in less than a week. The Saudi Premium Live event will be memorable and historic for several reasons. Roman Reigns will reach the mark of 1,000 days as Universal Champion, an astounding feat in today's age of pro wrestling. A brand new World Heavyweight Champion will be crowned as AJ Styles and Seth Rollins will collide for the championship. Every active title in the main roster will be up for grabs at the show. Consequently, considering the sheer number of titles that will be defended at WWE Night Night of Champions, we may see the crowning of quite a few champions in Jeddah. Here are 3 championships that may change hands at WWE Night of Champions. Number 3. Austin Theory's forever United States Championship reign comes to a screeching halt. Austin Theory was one of SmackDown's most valuable acquisitions during the 2023 WWE Draft. The 25-year-old was hoping to add the World Heavyweight Championship around his waist, but his aspirations ended quickly when he failed to advance further into the tournament. To make matters worse for Theory, he now finds himself in the target zone of Sheamus, a multi-time world champion in the middle of a late career resurgence. The Celtic Warrior knocked Austin Theory's teeth down his throat with a devastating broad kick on SmackDown, heralding that he was coming for the US title. An official US Championship match has not been announced, but Theory will inevitably have to defend his belt at Night of Champions per the show's theme. His forever reign may end with another broad kick when that happens. Number 2. Bianca Belair may not be ready for Asuka at WWE Night of Champions. Bianca Belair going over Asuka at WrestleMania 39 was a questionable booking decision. The Empress of Tomorrow had recently undergone a powerful makeover. With the accompanying surge of momentum, it was Asuka's time to shine. However, WWE took the familiar route of the lovable Belair retaining her Raw Women's title. Fortunately for Asuka, she finds herself across the EST again in Jeddah, but her chances of bringing home the championship are much higher this time. The Japanese star blinded the champion with poison mist, catching her off guard and weaving a path into the EST's head. Furthermore, the rumor mill indicates that Bianca Belair may soon be in line for a heel turn. A massive title loss to Asuka at WWE Night of Champions could be a suitable catalyst to lay the groundwork for the impending character change. Number 1. Roman Reigns may get all the gold in Jeddah. Roman Reigns inserted himself into the tag division after the Usos failed to bring the championships a couple of weeks ago. The Tribal Chief announced he would team up with Solo Sikoa to snatch the titles away from Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Considering the friction and hostility brewing between Reigns and the Usos, Jimmy and Jay may interfere to intentionally or unintentionally cause the Tribal Chief to lose at WWE Night of Champions. However, one cannot bet against the head of the table and the enforcer. Sikoa has only been pinned twice on the main roster and has consistently proven his loyalty to Reigns. Thus, a betrayal is unlikely. As for Roman Reigns, he has not been pinned in over 3 years. Furthermore, Night of Champions will mark his 1,000th day at the top of the mountain, and a loss isn't a fitting way to celebrate such an accomplishment. Therefore, Roman Reigns may win all the gold at WWE Night of Champions. WWE preparing late night for the World Heavyweight Champion. Seth Rollins and AJ Styles will compete to be the inaugural World Heavyweight Champion, but it seems like WWE is already preparing the next title holder. The company often hints at a massive push for a standout star by protecting him in unique ways. A similar case is for late night. The megastar hasn't lost cleanly in a singles match since getting squashed by Cody Rhodes on the March 13 episode of Raw. His losses against Xavier Woods were controversial as the latter either held late night's tights or pinned him with both their shoulders down on the mat. He has since defeated Butch, Rick Boogs, and WWE legend Rey Mysterio. Knight's latest match adds to WWE's massive ambitions for the heel. As pointed out by Lay Knight, he didn't get pinned on SmackDown. Rick Boogs took the fall and prompted the veteran to attack him for costing them the tag match. He's also going to defeat his former partner in the upcoming pre-taped episode. Connecting the dots, his apparent ongoing push is rumored to result in a World Heavyweight Championship win down the line. Lay Knight is still the leading favorite to clinch the briefcase from the top of the ladder at Money in the Bank. Also, it is rumored that the cash-in will be for the new World Championship. The former $1 million champion used to be the face of NXT for a while before shifting to the main roster. While he was with Maximum Male Models, his talent was static, but after Knight dropped the Max Dupree gimmick, he blossomed in front of the WWE fans. There were rumors of Max Dupree being fired for rubbing Vince McMahon the wrong way. It was believed to be because of his inability to pull off the Maximum Male Models character. During an interview with comicbook.com, Knight opined that the Max Dupree character didn't work in WWE because it wasn't his natural self. At the end of the day, I can make anything work, but at the end of the day, I've got a real tough time not being me. I'll tell you this, it wasn't me. So when things came to pass and Lay Knight started to shine through, it was the right place to go and not a moment too soon. Lay Knight flourished when he got permission to be his natural self during his feud with Bray Wyatt. The comedic character constantly provoking the monstrous side of the Eater of Worlds was entertaining and much better than constantly ending boorish segments with the titillate the juices of your guilty pleasures line. 29-year-old star considered a slam dunk by Triple H. WWE's top management, including Triple H, are strongly behind Cameron Grimes to succeed on the main roster. During the recently concluded 2023 draft, the former NXT North American champion was drafted to SmackDown. Grimes made his main roster debut on the May 12 episode of the Blue Brand by defeating Baron Corbin in a matter of seconds with the cave-in. As per the recent report by Fightful Select, several crew members backstage were heavily banking on Grimes. Although the rookie was called up recently, the company had been eyeing him for a long long time. Months before his call-up, the 29-year-old star had a dark match on SmackDown and impressed several higher-ups in WWE, including Triple H. Apart from top executives, many agents and producers also praised his work. Several of them had worked with him in NXT and saw Grimes as a slam dunk, given that he could adapt to different styles inside the ring. After Cameron Grimes made his main roster debut, former WWE manager Dutch Mantell stated that he could see the rookie as a breakout star for the company. On an episode of Smack Talk, Mantell claimed that Grimes always had a smile on his face and the fans perceived him as a likable guy. I can see right now, Cameron Grimes people automatically like him. He has that chemistry already. He smiles, he looks like a likable guy, he's won half the battle there. I think he'll do well. With top brass behind him, the future looks bright for Cameron Grimes. And if his recent booking is anything to go by, the former $1 million champion could be on the fast track to success in the company. Are you excited to see what's in store for the NXT call-up? Let us know in the comments section below. WWE secretly accomplishes a major goal with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns' WWE appearances are few and far between, but it might all be a part of a larger company plan, revealed Dutch Mantell. The Tribal Chief has not shown up on TV much since WrestleMania 39, and several fans have not liked how he's transitioned to a part-timer. Roman Reigns was in attendance on the latest SmackDown, and the Bloodline storyline witnessed another major development. Unlike many fans, the Dutch Mantell had no issues with Roman Reigns' continued absence as he figured out WWE's real goal for being selective with the Samoan star's dates. The former manager explained that the WWE had quietly conditioned its fans to expect something significant to happen whenever Roman Reigns appears in front of the cameras. Dutch Mantell felt there was no need for Reigns to be on every Raw or SmackDown and admitted that he was a fan of how WWE was tackling the ongoing kayfabe saga featuring the Bloodline. He's been missing, and they did great. You kind of hurt yourself when he is on every show and not doing anything. Tonight, he did something. He advanced the storyline. So when he is there, something moves. So you train viewers that when Roman's there, something's going to happen, stated Dutch Mantell. But if he's there every show, he's almost like a part of the woodwork, and you get used to him. But I like what they've been doing with Roman. Now see, that was positive. The Bloodline leader kicked off the latest edition of the Blue Brand, flanked by Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa. It didn't take time for their Night of Champions opponents, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, to interrupt the proceedings, leading to a verbal back and forth between the two groups. The tag team champions confidently claimed that Reigns and Sikoa wouldn't win the titles and said they also weren't as good as the Usos, who unleashed a blindsided attack on Zayn and Owens. The segment also featured an interesting moment between Roman and Solo, as many fans are now convinced about what lies in the near future. The show ended with the Usos losing to LWO, which didn't go well with Roman Reigns, who was closely watching his stablemates match backstage. Do you foresee Reigns and Solo getting the tag team titles back to the Bloodline? Sound off in the comments section below. Paul Heyman owes $150,000. As per former WWE champion and Hall of Famer Rob Van Dam, Paul Heyman owes him $150,000. Rob Van Dam was quite possibly the biggest name in Heyman's ECW in the late 90s. Over the years, several wrestlers have shared stories of Heyman owing them money and not paying them their salaries. Former WWE champion Rob Van Dam recently had a chat with Steve Fall of 10 Count. When asked about Paul Heyman owing him money back in the day, here's what RVD had to say. Although he was taking care of me pretty good, it still felt like the longer I was there, the deeper hole I was digging for myself. And so that's why eventually I was like, look, I'm not going to be getting paid this, and another type of company is going to be around much longer. So when I left, I think it was just before their last show, if I'm not mistaken. But the very loose number, though, was 150 grand. Back in the day, WWE produced a DVD set chronicling the illustrious career of Heyman. In the DVD, former ECW commentator Joey Styles addressed wrestlers who were angry over Heyman not telling them that ECW was nearing its end. People don't understand. When you file for bankruptcy, any check you have written 90 days prior to that bankruptcy, that money can be recalled by any secured creditors. So Paul waited 90 days after ceasing operations so that nobody could come after the wrestlers for any money he had paid them. People shouldn't vilify Paul for that. People should thank Paul for that. He couldn't say anything. That's why Paul was on WWE television before ECW officially filed for bankruptcy. Nevertheless, there are many ECW originals who didn't appreciate Heyman's business practices. Tommy Dreamer once revealed that he was planning to end Heyman's life at WrestleMania 17 and then commit suicide. What do you think of RVD's claim about Paul Heyman owing him a large amount of money? The issues within the Bloodline continued this past Friday night on SmackDown. Roman Reigns is still not pleased with the Usos, and WWE even teased tension between the Tribal Chief and Solo Sikoa. In the aftermath of SmackDown, Paul Heyman took to social media to send a message. The Wiseman, who has been influential throughout the current storyline, further hyped up the same. Courtesy of his Instagram story, Heyman suggested that things are heating up in the Island of Relevancy. Things are heating up on the Island of Relevancy, wrote Heyman. In recent months, numerous numerous WWE stars have unsuccessfully challenged Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. One man who is yet to cross paths with the Tribal Chief is LA Knight. According to Conan, the 40-year-old superstar could be the one to end Reigns' title run. Speaking on keeping it 100, he said, "I don't know why you would have a guy where it's so hard to get people over that is over and you haven't even pushed him, and there's so many great things you can do to make money with him. Why you wouldn't take advantage of him and try to take his knees out, because I don't think that's the mentality there anymore. And I could see him as Universal Champion, and if they gave him a proper push like we've seen them do when they want to, why not World Champ?" Roman Reigns is scheduled to have a match at Night of Champions Premium Live event in Saudi Arabia. He will team up with his Bloodline stablemate Solo Sikoa to collide with undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Do you think the Bloodline members will win the upcoming bout and hold 4 different titles? Sound off in the comment section below. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens should have lost their tag team titles. Vince Russo recently stated that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens should have lost their undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships to Imperium on Raw. On the May 8th edition of the Monday Night Show, Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci lost to Zayn and Owens in a non-title match. While it wasn't a one-sided win for the champions, Kaiser and Vinci losing didn't do them any favors. The duo struggled to rake up any notable wins on SmackDown in recent months, and a move to WWE Raw also seems to have not reversed their fortunes. On Sportskeeda Wrestling's writing with Russo, Vince Russo stated that not only should Kaiser and Vinci have won the match, but the tag team gold as well. Russo explained since Gunther is the Intercontinental Champion, Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci holding the tag team titles could have been a great sight to see. He added that Indus Sher could have stepped up to Imperium following this. Think about this. Let's go one step further. You put the belts on those guys, Imperium, in a huge upset on the first week on Raw. What an impression. Now you got 3 of them with the belts, now you take Jinder and his group, and now they got their eyes set on this group. Now you've got something, said Vince Russo. On the upcoming edition of Raw, Gunther, Ludwig Kaiser, and Giovanni Vinci will take on Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and a mystery performer in a 6-man tag team match. Though it isn't clear who would join forces with Zayn and KO, it could possibly be Mustafa Ali, who will challenge the ring general for the IC title at WWE Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia. If Imperium finds a way to win, with Kaiser or Vinci especially securing a pinfall on Zayn or Owens, it could bring them back in the hunt for the tag team titles. The duo has proved how capable they are in the ring, and it's only a matter of raking in a few valuable wins to become a legitimate threat in the tag team division. The Bloodline ruined. The Bloodline has drastically changed since its inception in WWE. The stable is in shambles, and the Tribal Chief is losing control with every passing day. Recently, fans came up with the theory that Sami Zayn is the real villain of the stable instead of Roman Reigns. Last year, Sami Zayn started his journey to becoming the honorary use of the Bloodline after he wrapped up his rivalry with Johnny Knoxville at WrestleMania 38. Earlier this year, he was removed from the group when he attacked Roman Reigns with a steel chair at Royal Rumble 2023. The Tribal Chief has been losing his patience with the Usos and moving away from the brothers after their loss at WrestleMania 39. Recently, fans began to wonder if Sami Zayn is the real villain of the stable after revisiting what transpired between Zayn and the Bloodline over the past 10 months. A certain section of fans believe that Sami Zayn is the reason why the family is in shambles, and he led to Jimmy and Jey Uso moving away from the group and disobeying the Tribal Chief after the former honorary Uso left the faction. Earlier this year, Sami Zayn made one of the most difficult choices of his career when he betrayed Roman Reigns and the Bloodline at WWE Royal Rumble 2023. He ended up saving his longtime best friend, Kevin Owens, and was brutally beaten up by the members of the group. After the event, the Liberator went after the stable, starting with Roman Reigns and the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Unfortunately, Zayn failed to beat the Tribal Chief for the titles in Canada at WWE Elimination Chamber 2023. However, he went after the Usos. Later, Sami Zayn reunited with Kevin Owens and continued his war against the Bloodline. He faced several members of the stable in one-on-one action before and after WrestleMania 39. The two were finally able to end the Usos' reign as champions at the Show of Shows. Earlier this month, Roman Reigns returned and revealed that he and Solo Sikoa will team up to take on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. The Tribal Chief promised that the titles will return to his stable at Night of Champions 2023. What are your thoughts on Sami Zayn's run with the stable? Sound off in the comment section below.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for